Hi, everybody. This is Emar Soputu, the Sports Inquirer, and we're joined by Bella D'Amico from Georgia Tech Volleyball. Bella, thank you for joining us. First of all, how was your trip to Arkansas? That's a pretty far distance for you to go for a non-conference matchup.
Yeah, thanks for having me. So we left this morning at 6:30, so it's been kind of a long day, and it's actually my first time being to Arkansas, but it's been nice. Their facilities are really nice here, so I'm excited.
Yeah, is this the type of trip that you can bond as a team because you're traveling a long way? You really only know each other. Are these the type of contests that you can become closer as a unit?
Yeah, definitely, especially all these preseason games. It's really a good time to get bonded with our team and get a good chemistry going before ACC play.
Yeah, and how has non-conference been for the team? High expectations coming into the year. You've lived up to them, but I've talked to coach and about the different expectations with the squad now. Top 10 nationally, the big run last year in the NCAA tournament. How have you and the team just handled that pressure?
We know we have a big target on our back. It's one thing last year, like starting a little bit lower and finishing higher than, aiming to start high, finish high. So definitely there's some pressure there, but we're focusing on what we're doing in our gym every day, trying to get better, continue to stay competitive.
Yeah, and how has the non-conference been? You've faced multiple ranked teams. You've been on the road for some neutral contest. How has that been helped you just getting prepared for ACC season coming up?
I think it's going pretty well. We're really starting to find how we mesh together well. Like there's obviously more moments of greatness and stuff like that. So I think it's really giving us a chance to get to know each other better on the court.
And then what about you individually this year? I think there's the most you may have reached already season highs, even compared to last year already this year. As a junior, how's that been like for you now being the setter and controlling that position for the Yellow Jackets?
Yeah, it's definitely exciting. There's a lot of pressure, a lot of expectations, but something that I've been working for the past 2 years in this program. I think I have a really good support system around me, the coaches, staff, my teammates. So it's something that I'm really excited to see how the season goes and to see how I keep continuing to perform.
I always ask setters, how do you handle all of the talent around you? You have all Americas in as your outsides with Julia. You have all conference players in Breland and Aaron in the middle. Tamara's a new player for the team. You have so many weapons. How do you balance that out as a setter and making sure everyone has a good opportunity to perform?
Yeah, our offense is pretty deep this year, and it's my job to keep it well balanced and make sure that everybody's getting a chance to shine and do the things that they can do. The hitters definitely make my job easier, and so I'm really blessed to be surrounded by the teammates that we have.
Yeah, and how do you, as a setter, during the match, do you realize maybe a player is not getting enough hits, or do you realize at a certain time maybe like a Julia or Mia because they're playing really well and getting a good rhythm going? Do you notice those type of things, or do you just kind of want to just let the play dictate how you distribute the ball?
I'd say it's a mix of both, but definitely if you have a hot hitter, you want to feed them the ball. Um, I know Tam had a really good game against BYU, so giving her a lot of more sets and more opportunities to score. So stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah, and how is that a player like Tamara coming into the program, new to the program? You played with players like Julia and your middles for since your entire career there. But how do you balance some of the new players coming into the rotation and getting them acclimated to the system?
Yeah, so Tam's a great player. She's a baller, she's really crafty. She can go up and slam a ball. She can go up, hit many shots. She's a really easy player to play with, because she can adjust so well. So I think that's a really good thing, especially coming into a program that's pretty set. Just being able to adjust, being able to show off your skills, stuff like that. Yeah, it's been nice to have Tam with us.
Yeah, and what about your first 2 years at Georgia Tech? You played beside and alongside the Maddie McKissick an all conference performer. She has moved on. What was that like for you, just developing as a younger player with the program with a player like Maddie, and then even some of the other upperclassmen that you played with?
Yeah, Matt has been just such a good role model for me from even before I got to Tech, like, as I was being recruited and stuff. She's just the best. She was, like, not just another teammate, but also, like, a coach. She would help me all the time, give me feedback, and, we still communicate now, even though she moved to UCLA, and so we have a really good relationship, and I learned a lot from her. Big shoes to fill.
Yeah, and do you feel that more responsibility now as an upperclassman, being a leader on the team? How have you handled that personally, seeing your role increase on and off the court?
Yeah, it's definitely obviously different coming from, being a sub player or whatever to starter. Your responsibilities are different. I think um, outside of the court, I've always had a pretty good relationship with all the girls, no matter what our classes are, like senior, junior, whatever. So that's definitely helped me as I made my transition on the court. I just having that relationship outside, knowing that they can trust me and I can trust them has helped me a lot.
Yeah, and you dropped your first match of the season against Ohio State in your last action. Looking back on that contest, what do you take away from that as you prepare for these final two non-conference contests coming up?
Yeah, they're a great team. They played well. I think that um, we could have been a little bit more disciplined, stuck to the game plan. There were a couple things that we like knew they were going to do that we saw in film and stuff that we just didn't stay disciplined on when it came to the game time. And I think that, obviously things could have gone better, but it's definitely good that this happened in the beginning of the season. It was like a wake up call that, we need to stay ahead. We need to play to our level no matter what the other side's doing. Um, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, and I was watching that contest. Looks like they served very aggressively, and the serve receive was something that was tested quite a bit. Is that something you worked on preparing for Arkansas? And because you're going to probably see other teams use that type of approach against you.
Yeah. Our serve receive is typically very, very solid. Like I trust Bianca, Paola, and Julia with everything, and if it does happen that our serve receive is a little shaky, that's when, it's my job to better the ball, our hitter's job to, make it tougher so that we are protecting our serve and not always having to side out. So, yep, we've been, always working on serve and pass is very big in our gym.
Yeah, and preparing for Arkansas, how has that been? You made a long trip. I'm sure you had practice today and probably do something in the morning. But just how's the team getting ready for another ranked opponent on your schedule?
Yeah, so we're really excited. They're on a hot streak right now. They're ranked 24. So we've done our scouting and we kind of know a little bit of what to expect. I think we're trying to get our morale back, after playing Ohio State, like getting our energy up and really being ready to play tomorrow is what we've been focusing on.
Absolutely. Two more things. While I was searching on social media and just doing my research, first, I know you are very active following the teams, other teams at Georgia Tech. You've been to football. I see you highlight some of the baseball players and things like that. What's about the camaraderie of the Georgia Tech athletic community? And I'm sure you go to some of their contests. I'm sure they come to your volleyball matches. What's that like for you as a student, a student athlete, being part of that group?
It's awesome, really. Like, I just love the athletics at Georgia Tech. I think that a lot of teams are very close with other teams. Like, it's great. We have the track team, the swim team, some women's basketball players, women's tennis players, all showing up to our games, all like commenting with us, good luck, like, I'll be at the match tonight, whatever. And it's really it's like a family kind of feeling, like knowing that it's not just you and your team, it's you and the whole athletics, the whole school's got your back, they're rooting for you. It's really nice.
Was that a factor for you when you chose to attend Georgia Tech when you were being recruited?
Yeah, definitely. I think that tech, really embodied everything that I wanted in school. A lot of people ask me that, like, "Why'd you choose Georgia Tech?" And it's like a million things, not just the athletics, not just the academics, it goes beyond that. It's the type of people that are there. It's the feeling that you get when you come to this school and be a part of a program like this. So, yep.
Yeah, and then lastly, I see that you're been all ACC academically the past 2 seasons or your first 2 years. I'm sure you're on track for another mark in that regard. But what about academics? You touched on it with the recruiting. How important is that part of the college experience for you? The academics and preparing for life beyond the playing court.
Yeah, it's very important. I think that, school, like your degree is a big part of why you're going to college, not just volleyball. So, that was always important growing up in high school to my family, to my parents, um, putting education higher or just as high as athletic requirements. I think our team does a really good job of making sure that everybody's kind of on track. Like right now, we have some girls doing study hall while we have some time off. Our team GPA is normally over a 3. We don't have anyone struggling that bad. And on my visits to Georgia Tech, um, they really ensured me that there was support if you needed it. Like we could get tutors, would be in study hall, everything that we need to do to be successful both on and off the court.
And how's the major going? Is it business administration still?
Yes, I'm a business major with a concentration in leadership. So
Oh goodness,
I finally,
what does that mean? What does that entail? Like the leadership and the business? How do you manage that? And what does that mean for
um,
the listeners and watchers?
yeah, so I chose leadership because there's a lot of routes you can take with it. Right now, it's like kind of like leadership and organizational change, which is what a lot of businesses need coming out of post COVID, a lot of that organization and like what to do after the pandemic. So I finally finished most of my core classes and I can really get into my concentration classes. So I'm in a leadership class right now and it's going pretty well, catches my interest. So we'll see how it goes.
Well, Bella, we appreciate the time. Thank you for joining us and safe travels. Oh, one more thing, we got the Georgia matchup on Sunday. I got to touch on that. What's that like for you and the team facing your big rival? And I'm sure you've crossed paths with them many times on and off the court. What will that be like on this weekend playing there on I think Saturday night?
Yeah, I think it's going to be a really good match. Of course, there's always that clean old fashioned hate, whatever they call it. And Georgia, we competed well with Georgia in the spring this past year in the off season. So, being at their home court is going to be a lot of energy from their fans. There's actually a billboard in Atlanta right now, right by our campus, that's promoting the UGA game from UGA is promoting their game against us in Atlanta. So I think there's going to be a lot of high energy. It's going to be a fun game.
All right. Well, looking forward to watching that as well as the Arkansas contest. Bella, thank you for your time. We appreciate it, and good luck this weekend.
Thank you so much.